Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 2S ACC Season 7. It is round 4. We are here at Monza, the Temple of Speed in Italy, and we have got one stacked grid with 32 drivers, and we've got two commentators just like last week. It is me, Timo, and John in the booth. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, so this is going to be a really fun day. Monza never really fails to excite in real life or in sim racing. So it's going to be a really good race, very exciting. There's going to be, stuff usually going on all over the place. So hopefully we can catch it all.
Absolutely, and gonna double the trouble today because it is a double header. We've got a 20-minute race followed by another 30-minute race. Both give half the points of a normal 60-minute race, which means we'll go through Monza turn 1 right off the starting line twice today. So if you get killed first time, you get a second chance to do it all over and die again, or avoid it. Ideally, I don't know, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, turn 1 at Monza is definitely one of the most notorious corners in all of racing, I think. It's, I don't know if people's, experience just go out the window when they're barreling towards turn 1 and just completely forget that brakes exist. But, it never fails to excite.
Yeah, and we certainly made some great experiences with with Monza here in 2S. Of course, the first ever time we were here, we had an amazing right off the bat of Sanix, who almost hit off Kimi. Was a great start. Then we also had that race in Season 4 that was red flagged because about 20 drivers were tragically killed in the crash through Curva Grande somehow. But luckily WoW isn't here today, so he can't replicate it. Instead, we've got some other drivers, and 3 of them are really, really close together, bunched up at the sharp end of the grid. It is Chris Witkowski in his Ferrari, coming alive in this second quarter of the season. He has won in Paul Ricard, and now he will try and take on Monza, currently setting the pace just about ahead of George Brabner. And then with an even slimmer margin is Gareth Higgins, who I've been told to not call Higgins more, in P3.
Yeah, those guys are, right at the top. Brabner was topping the charts during practice session, but practice session, I mean, when it comes down to it, the tower doesn't really matter as much during practice session because some drivers don't drive as much during practice session, or maybe just trying to get into the groove of the car, not really trying to set the fastest pace. So now that we're in qualifying, now the sleeves are getting rolled up and it's kind of go time.
Absolutely.
We have Higgins coming around. Parabolica, see what his lap is. Right now he's 0.0, and he is topping the chart right now.
Oh, wow, that is an insane time. A 46.8 out of Gareth Higgins. He must have been grinding this game like crazy. I knew the AMG was great here, but I didn't know it really applied to the Evo as well, and a 46.8 is a great time. I think that is within a second of eSport. Maybe Carsten in chat can tell us about that if he's still there. I know he was earlier. You should know what the eSports times are. Maybe you can tell us how close we're getting, because I couldn't dream of getting close to 46.8.
No, yeah, that was pretty crazy. He's got quite a cushion between him and Witkowski and Brabner. Before they were, hundredths of a second, but that's 0.2 of a second. That's not nothing when it comes to, racing, especially with these kinds of cars.
Absolutely, he's barely behind in Sector 1, and then he just outdrives Chris in Sector 2. But we could see a surprise coming out of George, because looking at his sector times, his first sector is just, his first sector is just not that good, but the other two are nominally on par with Higgins. I don't know how the game rounds, but he could be very close. If he just nails that first sector, he's going to try and do exactly that now. Right now he's 3rd in his Bentley, and Chris Strecker is in 4th behind him. He's kind of leading the charge, the best of the rest, the top of the midfield in P4.
Yeah, we have Stricker and Van de Hutting, and then the other Stricker. uh, it's it's a very very competitive top section of this grid. You know, we see a lot of really cool action previously with Van de Hutting, Brabner, Stricker, all of them. So, you know, we'll be looking at, you know, P1, 2, and 3, but even right below them, we always see pretty amazing battles at the top, mid, and the midfield. So we'll definitely be looking out for that. And because it's a double header instead of a 160-minute race, um, you you have less time for them to build those cushions. So I think we're going to see a lot more action today than, you know, we would have if it would have just been a 60-minute race.
Absolutely, fully agree, and that is, I think, what the format intends to do. And I can't, I can't wait to see how how well it accomplishes that. So far, the doubleheaders haven't really been on the tracks that are as action heavy as something like Monza. Like usually we do them at tracks like Alton Park, or what was it last season, Misano, where overtaking takes some time, and the field gets spread after quite some time. But this time it is at Monza, so that should be even more explosive. 4 minutes to go in this session, so drivers, the pressure will be on them quite soon. You better get your good times in now. The front of the midfield should try and somehow close that gap to the top three, as they look absolutely untouchable right now.
Definitely, and I think the only people we see in the pits right now are the people right at the end, and then we also have Veldman as well. I think everybody, most everybody at least, is going to be out here trying to push right to the last second to try and squeeze, one more hundredth, one more thousandth out of this corner and that corner, because I mean, there's really no point in not doing that. So what that also brings, to the table is that everybody's out right now, so it's very tricky to deal with the traffic. And are you going to compromise your lap for someone else's to play it safe, or are you going to try and overtake and risk ruining someone else's lap? So these final seconds, someone can get really lucky with the traffic and try and squeeze out and improve, but a lot of times it purely has to do with luck whether or not they get that chance.
Absolutely, you can easily throw away your run if you misjudge the driver up on the road, the driver's pace, and then you approach them too quickly, or they make a mistake or something, and then suddenly they interfere with your lap, and they are not obliged to give you way when they are on a fast lap themselves. So traffic management certainly something that will come in handy if you have that skill set. Here on Monza, it's got maybe a little bit more of a dimension with the slipstream being very powerful, but I don't know if that is ever worth it. I don't know if it is actually strong enough to voluntarily put a car ahead of yourself in a braking zone. I haven't really observed intentional slipstreaming so far, and now it looks like George might just be getting into trouble here as he approaches the number 5 Audi of Costa. So they're gonna tuck into that slipstream, try through Curva Grande. It is a curva, right? It is a corner, but it does kind of function like a straight. You just go flat out, and now you have exactly that. George is way too close, and he has to take the escape road, and that is that lap done. And he has only one shot at reaching the lap of Higgsy in P1. Chris has, in the meantime, been up a 10th, but lost it again. So he's just desperately trying to find some time and somehow avert that Higgins maiden pole. But right now it's looking good for the Brit.
Yeah, I hope George didn't mess his tires up, because it looked like he just completely overshot that corner. Hopefully he didn't lock him up too much to give him the second opportunity. Yeah, it looks like we do see a few people going off. I saw a yellow flag there showing for a second. I'm curious as to what that was, but yeah, it looks like I think Van de Hutting is on a outlap coming out of the pits. Brabner's right on him, blinking him, telling him to get out of the way.
Oh, there's traffic. That's so much traffic. But Yeah, now Brabner's giving himself space, and behind him it's Chris right away, so he'll hope that he doesn't block Chris. This could be spicy. Also Van den Herding, by the way, running a beautiful one-off livery, I believe. Yeah, normally he runs the Trigon Racing colors. This time he's just driving an Italian flag, basically. And there are the last runs for them. In silver class, Bas Kessel is just about outdone Björn Bjelland and Ben Loos, so... You know, he takes the lead in that P9 overall standings for him, and but Bjelland and Loos can still counter that. The rest probably not. Witkowski also has abandoned his qualifying session, so he will not be able to improve on that P2 he is currently got going. But if George doesn't improve, that's still enough for the front row. That is a big if, though. Let's see what's going on. So Chris is still in 4th, but he can't improve on his lap. Ruben is a little bit up on his time. He might beat Chris. Sam is trying, but he's not up. And there goes a Philip Ansel from P9. Improves just a little bit and puts himself P5. Well done to the Swede. George coming through Les Motu now.
Yeah, George is actually just straight on par with his best lap. He hasn't improved or gotten worse. So especially, you know, when doing a fast lap here, the last sector, in my opinion, is the one that matters the most. It's the one that has so much more feel than you know, the feel is very different. So you feel like you can play with the car a little bit more, in my opinion, than the others where, you know, you have a braking zone, you brake there, and then you take the corner. Here, you know, if you feel like you have the grip, especially Parabolica, you know, as soon as you feel that traction stick, you can hammer it down. Oh. It looks like Brabner was not able to, he wasn't able to improve, so he came into the pits.
Yeah, certainly. Last sector is a lot about finding the limit of the car, and it looks like George hasn't done that. Or maybe he has found his limit, but that didn't allow him to beat Gareth Higgins, and that means we've got a maiden pole position for the 36 Mercedes. And congratulations to him. I did not expect that, but I think he has been far up the order earlier in the season already, so maybe I should have seen it coming. Let me actually have a look at the standings, so I know that I'm right on this. Yeah, he's finished 4th twice out of the, 4 races. He's finished 4th once in the first sprint at Alton Park, and he's finished 4th at Paul Ricard, and now he's aiming at a podium, but let's go for a little bit of a grid walk. In the meantime, let's set that up, correct? Oh, that is not what I wanted to put on screen. Great. The production is perfect as always. Let's go. Let's go for a grid walk. 2 races at Monza, and our front row is Gareth Higgins in the Mercedes ahead of Chris Witkowski, our P3 in the championship that has won last time out in Paul Ricard. Then it is championship leader George Brabner, who will try and capitalize on Janne Salminen missing out on this round because of personal time conflict, I guess. Then Chris Stricker with his best qualifying in quite a while in P4. Putting that Nordic Racing Bentley right up there. Then Philip Ansel, P5 in the second Ferrari out of Ruben van den Herding in his one-off Trigon Racing livery. Then Samuel Chumley, P7, the Season 2 champion, leads Ollie Stricker on the 4th row of the grid. Then Antoine Olivier somehow has not, broken any ribs or his spine or, whatever after what happened in Paul Ricard. He is recovered and he lines up on the 5th row of the grid. Out of Ben Loos, who managed to beat up Bas Kessel for the lead in silver class. So Ben Loos silver class pole out of Bas Kessel, then Björn Bjelland 3rd in silver class, 12th overall. For pro class in P13 is Viktor Czerwinski, teammate to Samuel Chumley. Then P14, Jack Colley. Jasper Smelt is in P15 in the Lexus. Maybe on the Temple of Speed, the straight line monster of the Lexus can do something. Guilherme Santos, P16, silver class, P5. Mikael Österholm in the number 8 Ferrari is 17th, out of Jack Bedell. Then Nico Veltman, probably going to be disappointed with this one. He is a pro class driver. I guess he just didn't nail that one lap. He was complaining about the track early on this week, so maybe it's just not his. But maybe he can recover something. Then P20 is Ryan Noppen. 28, Hubert Jejura, out of Karol Chmielewski. The most challenging row of the grid, certainly, for my for me. Then Federico Varagnolo at home in Italy in P23 ahead of Ramsey Jensen. Then I have to scroll on my thingy to see the other positions. P24. Oh god, I'm running out of time. 24, Ramsey Jensen. 25, Niels Krüger, first time driver. Then Marvin Betch is P26 in the AMG. Kennedy Chikik ahead of Michael Reinoa. Then Andrew Moulton 29, Miguel Costa 30, Jürgen Visser 31, and the big boy BMW in 32. Danny makes us proud driving the Beamer. Too many drivers. These grid walks used to be really easy when there were like 20 attendants every single time, and I would be done, and I still had 1 minute to kill. But now I'm just running out of time. That's. I should get that rap flow going and get quicker with it. So, server restart after T1 asks Marius. Do I hear some salt there? I don't know. It's the thing is, WoW isn't here. Chris is, but WoW isn't. So I think we should be good. Also, we will get a restart no matter what happens in turn 2. Because it's the doubleheader, to clarify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as they take their outlap, you know, they're thinking about strategy, they're thinking about what they're going to do with pit stops, how they're going to defend the person behind, how they're going to attack the person in front. You know, outlaps are, especially if you have a really good position on the grid, you know, you don't want to lose that. So when you're in your outlap, you're really just thinking about worst possible thing that could happen. You know, you usually get that heart in your throat feeling.
Absolutely.
At least I do, I know.
Yeah, especially when Vito drives a safety car ahead of me in Kyalami. No. Shout out to Vito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly it's the anticipation. I mean, must feel really weird to be Higgins right now, and knowing that you've got you've got 30 cars behind you that all want to be where you are, and they'll gladly take any lunge at you they can realistically get away with. And if someone in the close vicinity to you makes a mistake, you might have an avalanche of cars raining down on you as soon as you hit those brakes for turn 1, and that certainly can screw your mindset. But the good thing is he'll get 2 chances at this. We take the same qualifying results for the second race of the doubleheader as well, so he gets 2 chances to do it. But still, the pressure will be immense to him, especially as he has not been in this position before in 2S ACC.
Yeah, that turn 1 is so... I mean, to be honest, just for the sake of the safety of your drive as well as the safety of everyone else's drive, I always just take it nice and safe. And that's just... I mean, it depends on who you are as a driver. If you want to, especially if you're in the back of the grid, you know, by the time you get there, it's already going to be a traffic jam. So there's not much opportunity to overtake unless there's a massive gap and no one's moving. But up in the front, there's a lot more to lose. So, Higgins, that's what he's kind of probably thinking right now is, should I play it safe, break early, but then, Witkowski's going to come in and take the lead from me. So it's all about it's mental games that you have to try and figure out.
Absolutely. Also, the risk evaluation is quite difficult here because we only have 20 minutes instead of the usual 60. You have less time to make up those positions. After the 20 minutes, you get reset to your grid position in the second race. So it means that you have to make your moves quicker, and that might force some drivers to go for some more daring maneuvers, especially if they qualified under their pace. We line up for the grid, and I guess I'm going to call the race start. We've got Chris Witkowski, the Trigon Racing Ferrari, on the right of your screen, on the left of the track. And then Gareth Higgins, first-time pole sitter. Can he bring this across the line? Behind them lurking 2 Bentleys of George Brabner and And Chris Strecker, and we go. Green and Monza with a massive disadvantage for Gareth Higgins. He basically started one grid position down, and now he has to try and overtake Witkowski, and gets blocked. So Witkowski just takes the lead in that without much resistance. Philip Ansel in the background trying to attack Chris. Now Gareth on the outside tries to outbrake Chris, and I think he might actually succeed in that. He cuts back to the inside, gets squeezed round. Oh no, he punts into Chris. There's a little bit of carnage in the background. Ruben is off. I think Ansel is spun, and the top two are still side by side, so we're gonna follow them through Curva Grande into the Variante della Roja. And
that was quite carnage.
Yeah, so Ruben is certainly out.
Oh, there's even more.
Oh, we're gonna check in with that in a second, but Chris comes out on top. So what happened there? Let me quickly try and find a replay for you guys. We're going into the replay. There's cars off already in that replay. So. Oh man, it's just carnage, man. Monza turn 1 was fine, but turn 2, oh boy, let me tell you, that didn't go well. That's the first crash, and now I await a second one. Oh no, it's a rejoin from the Lexus, and they go into each other like dominoes. Man, okay. I guess we caught up with the action. Let's go back to the live feed in a second. There we are. It's the live feed.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was like 3 different incidents right there, and we see Marvin Betch and Kessel, Jensen, Costa, Vanda Hudding, Chumlee, all of these guys right at the back, way out of position.
There's a move happening here between the twin brothers as Olli Stricker tries to attack Chris Stricker around the outside into Parabolica, but I think Chris will just about hold on to this. Chris, of course, being the white and red car representing Denmark, and Ollie being the purple car representing no particular country.
I was gonna see where you're going with that.
Yeah, I was too, but I couldn't come up with anything funny, so you know we went with that. Also,
yeah, the inside line is definitely what you want to have for the Parabolica.
Oh,
as soon as you. Sorry, go ahead.
It just about swung it around the outside, and also Oliver in another battle of the Bentleys does the same. He wins that game of warships against Noppen, the Boatleys, amongst themselves. So Oliver P10 and Brabner's taking Higgins. I did not see that one, but Higgins, after that poor lineup after the formation lap, gets passed by our championship leader, who will now hunt for his former championship rival from last season, Chris Witkowski.
Yeah, something else is, you know, with all of that stuff that happened after turn 1, we are going to have drivers that have damage on their cars, and that's something that you don't want right at the beginning of the race. It is fortunate that for those people that, you know, we're doing 2 races today, so hopefully they can just stick it out and, you know, wait till either their pit stop, or if they don't want to do their damage at the pit stop, just wait it out for the race.
To be fair, there are no pit stops in the double headers.
Right.
Normally they are mandatory, but for a 20-minute race we don't do pit stops. So that is actually not an option. They have to just live with that damage, which can be quite painful. So yeah, getting hit at the start is even worse in that case. Now we see Ruben in the background there for a second, trying the move on Niels Krüger. And he gets that one done beautifully, so P21 for him now. P20, you get points. Well, you get half a point for P20, but, you know, you're in the point scoring positions. And also in silver class, worth a mention, the silver class drivers that started like P10 or something are now in P6 and 7, Björn Bjelland and Ben Loos. Also Bas Kessel are not championship leader, are... well, he qualified second in silver class, that's what I wanted to say. He did get lost in that crash, so it is now Bjelland and Loos that have to fight this out as just the 2 of them, although Collie wants to join.
I do think, watching what happened there, you know, Higgins, he got hit after turn 1, but he got hit on the other side as well, which almost like corrected it. And so he did come out, you know, slightly better than some of
Oh,
the
sorry
other.
to interrupt. Great move from Österholm here through down Lesmo 1, and now he just needs to hold his line into Lesmo 2, and he gets the position, and Varaniolo is completely out of shape. Now Veltman is going to try and take that opportunity and see if the door opened. No, it didn't. Okay, gone.
Let's see, I think-
Okay, so yeah, it's really hard to pass here in the last sector, but Varaniolo makes a mistake as I say that, and now he'll do well if he manages to keep it out of the wall, but he certainly loses that position to Veltman. P16 now for the race taxi, and Renault gets passed as well in the number 9 Lamborghini, although Varaniolo is not happy with that. Tries to hang it around the outside, but as you said earlier, you kind of want the inside line, unless you don't carry much speed, which in this case I think happened.
They're neck and neck right now, but I do think that Ronya is gonna take this, and we just have to see who's gonna outbrake who here for turn 1.
Certainly no Varaniolo.
Wow.
I know he's one for dives, and he does exactly that, but that was a well-executed one. Even though he clobbers the curb on the inside a little bit, and that offsets him, he does gain the position, and now Renault might just be food for the ex-front runners, with Chumley and Van den Harding in their Ferraris, both breathing down his neck, and they certainly want that position for themselves on their recovery drives. Now,
Looks like Van den Harding almost looking out on the inside of Chumley.
Oh, does Chumley get the better run here? Does he go for the inside into Lesmo 1? He certainly signals it. Does he have the audacity, you have to say, to put his nose there? I don't think he really had, but it scared the other driver off the apex, and now he's going to take the inside line into Lesmo 2. That was very well done. He kind of, he pulled him... by strings like a marionette, and gets that place, and now Ruben just follows right through into Ascari, barring really good braking by Renault.
Exactly, and on the inside line, Rajnona. How do you know how
I
to
have
pronounce
no
it?
idea, but I haven't been corrected on it yet. He hasn't sent me a DM with the pronunciation.
Michael, you really have nowhere to go on that final chicane if you have the inside line.
Oh, we're getting a Stricker Civil War, I think. Ollie is trying it, and Kimi moves quite aggressively there, but blocks it off. So, go on.
Yeah, on that last chicane before Parabolica, the inside line is very not where you want to be, because it's such a tight turn if you have that inside line. Fighting with someone is almost...
Oh, they are side by side. So to interrupt again, we've got Chumley versus Van den Harding, and Van den Harding wants to make the move, and Renault completely misses turn 1 in the background, but luckily manages to avoid them. Still well executed from Ruben as he makes his way up to P18. Now Varaniolo is next. Go on. You'll never finish the sentence. The drivers will interrupt. They will intervene.
That's basically what I wanted to say. It looks like we have Van den Harding. Oh, he's going to try on the inside and think better of it.
Yeah. On one hand, it's quite wise. On the other one, you're kind of running out of time. But he saw what Chumley did earlier, and he just gets even more of a launch and just slingshots himself out of Roggia down the inside of Varaniolo. And now Chumley just wants to follow him through. Can he pull it off? They're gonna contest the apex, and they're gonna come together. Varaniolo just about saves the car, but he's gonna lose out, potentially even to Danny Cofield in the black Beamer in the background. So.
It looks like Varaniolo, there's a little bit of contact between him and Van den Harding, I think. And it looks like he probably had backed off on the throttle a little bit because of that, which cost him these 2-3 extra positions.
Yeah. But I think it was, clean enough, as clean as GT3 racing usually is. Let's go a little bit up the order. We've got Antoine Oliver trying to fight past the silver drivers as he makes his move on Jack Colley, but there's also a move for the silver class lead with Ben Luz and Bjelland fighting for the braking zone in turn 1, and Bjelland gets that one done, so he re-overtakes Ben Luz for silver class lead. So silver class as contested as ever, and Antoine Oliver trying to cut his losses after that qualifying by just slowly gaining those positions. Oh, up front, wait. The top two are really close. I hadn't realized. Let's make sure we don't miss anything there. 0.1 by the last timing line. And Chris and George will go toe-to-toe to find out who's going to win this race. Higgins has dropped off a little bit, and then there's a... Oh, Chris! What are you doing? He just goes off in Les Mode 2, and somehow Ollie doesn't find the speed to capitalize on that, or does he? We go on board with Ollie Stricker, but no, he's not close enough, so Chris is forgiven for that mistake. He gets away with it somehow.
Wow, that's pretty... I wonder if that was brotherly love.
No, they always say that the fights get way more important when it's against your twin brother, and there we might see a manifestation of that as Ollie Stricker somehow manages to find some inside room into Parabolica, and is going to climb the inside line, but Chris manages to carry a whole lot of speed. But it's probably not enough. Ollie with a little bit of a snap to the inside. That's going to compromise his run, and they go neck and neck going onto the main straight at the end of lap 7. And it looks like Chris just about has the nose ahead. Ollie's little bit of a wiggle there, just about not being in control of his car, and Parabolica might make this good overtake attempt be worthless, and that's exactly what happened. So Chris holds on even longer. The twin war is amazing.
Yeah, as soon as Ollie knew that he wasn't able to outbrake him, you saw him tuck right behind Chris. Just to make sure he keeps that good line in order to stay behind him.
Oh, and the games have begun between the leaders as George scares Chris off the apex, but then doesn't manage to find a cutback line because the second chicane is just too tight for a cutback line, and he taps the rear of Chris, but nothing happens. And yeah, so effective roadblock coming out of Witkowski here, but he also... I mean, he needs to somehow keep this up for 8 more laps with that big boy Bentley tucked right into the slipstream.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very exciting last 8 minutes of this race with these two. They're so close, like in skill and professionalism with each other, but they still don't give either one breathing room. And so we see Chris Brabner, he thought about it, but he backed off. I think he wants to try and get a good line through Parabolica, probably.
Yeah, he goes toward... He covers the outside just about the end of the straight and manages to get a good run, I think. Don't know if George is close enough. We're gonna go on board with for the overtake attempt. This is our current championship leader, trying to carve out some more points in this as Janne Salminen doesn't attend, and now he just needs to beat Witkowski for a race win, and he just holds on to the inside. That opens as soon as Chris tries to go for the racing line, but there's no car that fits through there. Oh, he spins him! And that's going to be looked at by the FIA. Gareth Higgins manages to slip through, and he gets the position, and he might just win this race as Chris is facing the wrong way and loses loads of positions, and George will probably have to see the stewards after this one. So Gareth Higgins suddenly in the race lead, and he's looking in real good shape to win his first race. I just jinxed it.
Wow, so not only did George Brabner accidentally take out Witkowski, but he's still in P2, so he's still got to try and fight with Higgins to try and get P1.
Oh yeah, I just caught the back end of that on the replay, and oh man, that's tough. I think it's on George, but you know, I'm just a commentator who saw it twice in the heat of the moment. Maybe the FIA has a different take on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a penalty coming George's way. Let's wait for the live feed to catch up.
Yeah, and with Chris, you know, he's 4 seconds behind Brabner at this point. It's not. I mean, it's looking like he can secure P3, but I don't think he's gonna improve anymore on that.
And I think Varaniolo is off. Yeah, he has retired. He's gone off in the second chicane and retires from this race. We saw some good fighting from him earlier on this race when he was contesting the positions of Ruben van den Herding, Daniel Cofield, and Sam Chumley. But
we see Brabner very close with Higgins on. Okay, he switched to the outside line, possibly tried to get a better exit out of Parabolica, but I don't know if... I I don't know if he'll be able to try and overtake maneuver here unless he tries to go.
I think he's got the slipstream. I think he's getting the overspeed, but Higgins is hugging the inside line more than Chris was. But can George maybe get himself alongside? No, perfect defending from Higgins. Well done. He gets to live on for 1 lap longer. Not because George will kill him, but, you know.
Yeah, I definitely think George purposefully gave him a little bit of room in that chicane. He didn't want it to happen what happened last lap.
Well, Veldman and Jejura fighting into turn 1. Monza just delivering the overtakes over and over, and Veldman finds another spot. I think he's 6 up from a starting position. 6 positions in 15 laps is a good effort. Probably not enough to make him happy about this result, but you know, he's giving a good show.
You know, I bet Higgins didn't think he'd be in this position right after turn 2 of the first lap when he got hit and dropped back. But here he is in P1 currently with 4 minutes left. Yeah, he does have to contend with Brabner though.
Yeah, he's getting away with it. He messed up his start quite badly. I mean, he started behind the other car basically. We're just watching a replay.
Oh, that is right, yeah.
Instead of that, Guilherme Santos in silver class. Yeah, he goes off. He was 5th, I think, in class and loses it in Lesmo 1. So that is why we got that yellow flag in the replay. I think he only drops 2 spots though, so it's not a disaster still. Kind of feel bad. Go back to the live feed. Yeah, he's now 6th in class. Bjelland, by the way, in silver, is just leading the way now. He's ahead of Antoine, and then there's a gap to Loos. So I think it's about 2.5 second lead for Björn Bjelland with only 3 minutes remaining in this race.
Yeah, and you know, Brabner and Higgins still neck and neck. Wachowski, he's actually getting further away from them. I think, you know, if I was in his position, I would be thinking more about who's behind me. But he also has a pretty good cushion behind him as well with Chris Stricker, 2.8 seconds behind him. And people are actually, they're starting to get some gaps opening up at some places. We only have 3 minutes left in the race. And we do see Veldman and Santos are very close to each other. 4 hundredths of a second, actually.
Yep, and tucked into the slipstreamers, George. He might get a penalty or might not. Chat is speculating on whether it was netcode or not. If it was netcode indeed, then it might not be a penalty for George. So Higgins should defend this with all he has got, no matter if there's going to be a penalty by the FIA. And, you know, he might win this race. He'll get a second chance at a good start next race. I wonder how many more laps do we have. Do they cross the line before the 150 mark? I think they do, so we get 2 more laps from here.
See, Ostrom and Jejura also fighting, coming into the final chicane.
Just gonna keep an eye on when they cross the line. It is at 154, so we're getting a new lap. What did he say? Osterholm and Jejura. Yeah, okay, we're gonna keep an eye on them as well. But I think this is for the race lead now. George is running out of chances. The 18 has gone off in Ascari. Vidal is out of the race. And Higgins is just, you know, he just got too well of an exit out of Parabolica for Brabner to be able to attack this. Now, how much risk is it worth putting into this? I mean, he's just gaining 3 points on all of his championship rivals, even if he comes second. But you know, he's a racer. He'll always want more.
Definitely, and we see getting very close. Wow, that was very close. Brabner right up on the back end of Higgins.
Ruben's recovery drive is brilliant. He just passed Santos for P13. I think he was temporarily last after being taken out at the start there, and now he's running in P13. Well done to him.
Yeah. Do you know where he qualified?
He was
definitely near the top.
He was like 6th or something, but I think we might just get the move for the race lead now as George Brabner breathes down the neck of Gareth Higgins into Ascari, but he's gonna have the outside line. They bounce into each other at the braking zone, but they somehow keep it on track, both of them, and they run towards Parabolica for the second to last time this race. But Higgins still stays ahead. He was squeezed onto the sausage curbs on the inside there, but managed to keep perfect control of his car. And George wasn't able to find the speed he needed because he also suffered a little bit from that contact. And now he goes very wide, even runs fully off track there a little bit. Not going to be a warning or anything. Maybe it gave him the speed he needed to attack Higgins into turn 1. Let's go on board and find out. We've seen this one before. George Bremner for the race win. Last lap of the race. Did Higgins nail the braking point? He did. So George running out of chances. He's so close. We've seen this before, but this time all goes well into Curva Grande. Probably the second to last chance for George to win this race.
Yeah, neck and neck. I mean, it's all or nothing for Higgins. Higgins needs to just defend with his life for one more lap. Brabner right on his tail. Still, I don't think he, not risking it yet, but he just wants to stay with his nose in the door just in case there's any opportunities that open up. And nailing every apex and every braking zone is crucial to both Higgins and Brabner. Brabner looks inside and thinks better of it.
But that's going to compromise his run. I think he just got a bad run out of Lesmo too. Took a very tight line there. He's really close though, so maybe the slipstream is just gonna come into play. We go on board again. There's not gonna be any room. Just look at how tight the track is at this point of the track. But Higgins takes a very defensive line. He doesn't even resume the racing line into the braking zone, and maybe George gets a really good Ascari. I think he does. So that opens a chance into Parabolica. 1 corner to go in this race between Gareth Higgins and George Brandner. They're gonna give us a great finish, but I don't think George gets the speed. Now the slipstream has come into effect. He seeks the inside, but there's no space. Higgins perfectly on the brakes as well. Does the inside open for Brabner or not? Oh, he wiggles! He wiggles! Higgins made the mistake, and there goes Brabner. Now they're gonna get a photo finish in, but George Brabner wins this race. Brilliant stuff! Oh what my god!
Last turn.
Oh, that hurts, man. That hurts. That was so sad that he lost it there. Let's have a look at the onboard, because he's gonna be kicking himself about that. That little bit of a steering input that went to the left, that was him correcting some oversteer, and that oversteer lost him this race. Maybe the FIA is gonna undo that, but Higgins so close to winning that race, shakes his steering wheel in fury after crossing the line.
What an incredible drive by all those people up in front. I mean, Brabner, Witkowski had the lead for quite some time. Higgins coming back to it, and then Brabner taking the lead right at the last second. Literally right at the last second. That was incredible. Incredible.
Absolutely amazing racing. Wait, what happened to Chris? Why is he in P12?
I see him as P3 right now.
You do?
Chris Strick. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
No,
sorry,
no
I need to specify. Chris Stricker, he's 12th, he was 4th.
Wow, I wonder what did happen. That was probably during the final lap. Maybe if we missed that.
Wait, I'm just gonna save the replay. We get 5 minutes of a breather after that one, which is well needed after the show that was put on display here. I'm actually just gonna go into the replays and check. Let me see. So, I mean, Pixel says it was suicide, which I assume means he dropped it on his own. We're loading into the replay. But that was such a good race, and we get another one. I'm hyped.
That was cool. That was yeah. I'm also gonna check the replay as well.
Also, Bjelland wins silver class, by the way. I haven't mentioned that crossing the line, but he did do that, and it was a really good performance. I think he finished 5th in overall, so very nice for him. And what did Chris do? Chris, you little bottle job, what did you do? Where can I see the... It's on board.
You know what? I don't know if I cut the replay in time before the restart.
Oh, what? It was how do you call it? Not homicide, like, it was a Cain and Abel story. He was killed by his brother.
Oh, was he? Oh, wow.
Ollie and Chris.
Oh, that's...
Someone called their parents, their kids are hitting each other. What's going on? Oh, man. That was so... Oh, that's so painful. How does he lose this many positions off of that? How bad was the damage? Oh no, he dies on the rejoin! Ah. So, yeah, now we know what happened to him. The Battle of the Twins doesn't go well. Ollie does take out his brother, and maybe it was to assert dominance. Maybe he just misjudged the gap. The FIA will have a look at it.
Definitely. Wow.
Okay, I think we are in the 5-minute practice right now, right?
Yes, yes. We have 3 minutes left in the free practice between race 1 and race 2. We do have a few people out on track. Just I don't know why,
Training
but
laps.
doesn't hurt to do a few laps, I guess.
Absolutely, and I'm going to take that chance and quickly go for a new bottle of water because I kind of screwed my soul out after that one.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to virtually join you as well.
Okay, so short intermission for about 2 minutes. We'll be back with more action, and let's hope the second race lives up to the first one, or maybe even tops it. It was great.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I'll be right back. And we are back with a bit of a 3-minute wait before this second race, and I'm sure it will be worth the wait, as the first race was completely crazy. We'll get to see everyone try it all again. We'll get a race where Gareth Higgins presumably doesn't start one position down right off the bat. We'll get a race where Chris Witkowski probably doesn't get spun by George Brabner. We'll get a race where Chris doesn't get murdered by his brother on the last lap. Ansel, Ruben, and Sam all died on lap 1 last time. So out of these top 7, I would say everyone outside of George kind of had something happen to them that they would likely like to correct in the second race, and this will be their shot to do it, and the spotlight will be on them to perform to the best of their abilities in a 30-minute race at Monza. 1 minute 30 on the clock to go, then we'll go for a formation lap, and then the race begins. Also, thanks to everyone who's active in chat. I sometimes react a little bit late because I can't have chat and broadcasting client open at the same time, but appreciate all the messages, and I hope you stay for the second race and enjoy it. Better be more crazy carnage, says Marius. So yeah, okay. Since you're now not driving in the league anymore, suddenly you want to see the world burn, huh? It's interesting how that works.
Yeah, something that we could also think about is Brabner did win the race very close with Higgins last time, but with that interaction that he had with Witkowski earlier, it's going to be interesting to see if he keeps that actual win, depending on how that incident actually plays out, whether it was neck code or something else, which does kind of put a damper on it, but.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad. I mean, in any case, it was a crazy finish, and I think the gap to Chris behind was big enough for this to be a 1-2 between Higgins and George, no matter if there's a penalty or not. But still, it does put a damper on it. I fully agree. But even if it is a penalty and the guy who finished there doesn't win, we get a Higgins win, and it would be a maiden victory. So I wouldn't be sad about that either.
If this one isn't. This one, Higgins, the cool thing about this format is they get one chance to do it. If they mess it up, they get to learn from that, experience, and then be like, okay, I get another chance, so maybe I'll do something different this time.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like exploring an alternative timeline, like with the butterfly effect. Yeah. What happens in this race if Ansel, Ruben, and Chumley may survive the start? What happens if Chris doesn't just lead right off the bat because Higgs starts like 1 row behind him or something? So that is always really interesting to see. It's why I really like this format. I like it more than if we had just decided to do a second qualifying session. It's very enjoyable.
Yep. And I think it's cool that the qualifying session that was placed before the first race carries on to the second race, because that does, it literally gives people second chances at things.
Exactly, yeah. So, who makes the most out of that second chance? Oh, I'm on the wrong... I was in the wrong view for all the time. Luckily I noticed now. But also, Ben Lewis gets a second chance at trying to win Silver Class. Silver Class kind of going a little bit flying under the radar today because the Pro Class racing has just been this good. So we kind of couldn't pay attention to it without missing something big. But they are gonna fight it out again, and Kessel didn't survive lap 1 last time, and Loos lost out to Bielan, so a do-over is needed for him as well.
Kessel was very unfortunate. I think he dropped all the way back to the Silver Class at the end.
Yeah. Also, someone who I haven't mentioned today at all is Visser. Missed last 2 X. He never qualifies, and he did, I think, reach P5 in Silver Class this time. I still gotta personally say I wish he would just qualify and be pro class, because I think he has got the pace for it, especially if you look at him in Indycar. But he doesn't want to qualify. That's fine. Let's see where he can go this time.
And if you go to our website, you can vote for the driver of the day today.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was confused. I thought we were this cool. Now you put the admins on the spot. They better do that. I'm gonna write at the end.
That would actually be really cool.
To be fair, we could do it on Discord. The thing is, normally in the other league I commentate, the commentators pick driver of the day at the end of the race, and it always, like, you always feel so put on the spot. It's so hard to not just give it to the guy who gained the most positions. It's like, and no matter what you do, someone's always gonna be upset. So you know, democracy is probably better in that case. Maybe we should do a driver of the day vote. Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, they could always say in the chat, you know, who you think driver of the day is after this, or 75% through this race, when we got about I don't know, 8 minutes left.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think I would, if there was a driver of the day, I would give it to Ixie. Just because, potential maiden win, and if not, then narrowly lost out.
Definitely.
So, yeah, what did he learn from last time? Does he know how to actually use his pole this time?
Yeah, let's see.
How is he going to do this?
I'm sure he's as sharp as a razor right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Will Chris sneak it again? I don't think he does. Yeah, I think Ixie's got this. We are about to go green for the second time. And the race is on, and it looks like a solid start from Higgins this time. He's not going to give it away this easily to Witkowski, who already tucks into the slipstream, which forces Brabner off the road, and now that also gives Brabner the chance to try and attack into turn 1. I think Higgsy is clear, but for P2 there's going to be a massive fight between the Bentley and the Ferrari, and they come together a little bit, but both still on the road. Respectful racing there, and Chris just about to... Oh no, it's Chumley! 2 out of 2, he's dead again!
What
was that, Jujera? What are you doing? My man, that was unnecessary. I'm gonna go into the replay right away in the helicam. So what happened? We get the fight up front, and then... Oh, it's gonna be Ollie. He turns in, and Ollie is there. Ollie spins him. He goes into Lewis as well, so his fight for silver class is gonna be severely compromised. And then in the background, everyone just reacts differently to that. Probably not ideally. So that was that Sam at the back again. Terrible day for him at the office. Meanwhile, at the front, Chris and George, they are almost running double file as George finds the inside into Lesmo too, and Chris is just hanging on by the skin of his teeth ahead of Ruben van den Herding and Philip Ansel in the 2 Ferraris.
Glad that Van den Herding was able to get through all that carnage. It looks like most of the top guys were able to make it before that happened. We do see Brabner and Witkowski are fighting. Higgins has a comfortable lead in front of him. He did make a slight mistake coming onto this straight, but it looks like it didn't affect him too much. They have about 2.6 seconds gap between P1 and the fight between P2 and 3.
The fight for silver class is also absolutely raging right now, as we've got Bas Kessel defending from pro class driver Ollie Stricker in the purple Bentley, and behind them lurking is Giacolli, the teammate of Ben Lewis, who unfortunately got taken out in all of that chaos and is now running 3rd in class. Also, we've completely lost Bieland. He is gone. The silver class winner from the first race is all the way to the back. And now this is a drag race between Giacolli and Ollie Stricker. And it looks like Ollie's just gonna be able to defend his position. He does, and the cars come in raining behind them. No, Bieland is actually retired, so he wins the first race and then just crashes in the second and ends this evening.
That was very unfortunate. I did see that somebody retired, and hearing that it is him is very sad to see. That turn 1 can be very, very treacherous.
It certainly was. Danny trying to get through. He's he's just carrying his BMW past other cars. Surprising enough that there's other cars that fit next to this contract, but big boy.
Yeah, definitely. We do see, it looks like Higgins has learned from the previous race, because he is comfortably by himself right now in P1. Brabner and Witkowski fighting with each other. Still P2, P3, and it looks like Brabner's starting to get a little bit of a gap, but we're going to see that open and close for the rest of their fight.
And now we also have a really good fight between two Ferraris here, and also two Bentleys. Oh, someone's off in the background. That's Chicali. He's bottled it in Ascari and goes off. So what I was gonna say is that we've got fights between the Ferraris of Van den Herding and Ansel, and we've got a fight between Stricker and Oliver in the Bentley. So there's some manufacturer civil war going on.
And Shizura is also off. He actually spun all the way around, right on the straight. The straight, one of the worst places to spin. I don't know how he spun there, though.
I think he got together with Renault. And wait, Brabner's passed Witkowski. Did I just miss that, or was that like that earlier? No, Brabner got passed. I think he...
he's been past him for, I think, a little while.
Commentator, by the way. I'm good at this. Amazing, so... there we go. Now, yeah, what is he gonna do with that? Do we get a repeat of race 1? Does he close that 2.3 second gap, or does Higgsy just run away with this? And the same question, well, further down the order, does Ruben manage to come close to Witkowski, or will he have to fight off Ansel, Oliver, and Stricker for the rest of this race? So the field is still close together, and it's looking promising for some fights.
Yeah, and we have Kessel comfortably ahead of Santos, who they're both silver class drivers, but he does have Oliver Stricker right behind him coming into the final chicane. It looks like he still will be comfortably ahead of him, coming around the final turn.
Yeah, the overtakes aren't free, but he's still trying to find a way here. No, he doesn't. He just shows himself on the inside. You know, in iRacing, that always works on random people. You just show your nose and watch them miss the apex by a country mile. But I think he actually drove a really nice line there, and I think that's gonna make it possible for Olli Stricker to take P8 off of Bas Kessel. But that's fine for... Oh no, it actually doesn't. That's fine for Kessel though, because you know, he's got a 2.5 second gap to the next silver class driver, and that's a championship he cares about. Guilherme Santos having a nice race for himself, currently P10.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while Brabner and Witkowski are fighting, Higgins is just, I'm sure he's not taking it easy, but he's not nearly at the stress level he was at this point during the last race. And we see Kruger, looks like Kruger and Veldman. Oh, Kruger has been spun around.
Oh, we're
fighting with Veldman.
Gonna take a look at the replay. Good catch on that. Thanks for pointing that out. Kruger is the one in the Lexus, and Veldman in the Aston Martin. That looks like it's a text marker. Oh, Visser! No, wait, it wasn't Visser. Who was that? Smelt. It was Smelt in the other Lexus. Lexuses are cannibalizing each other. So, that's sad. Oh, Ollie and what's going on there? That's Ollie and Kessel, and they came together there, and that is gonna open the door for Guilherme Santos to try and take lead. The silver class, what just happened? Oh man, big off, but he's gonna recover from that, I guess. And for silver class, Santos is just behind Kessel. Let's take another look. We go for a 30-second replay to make sure we catch all the action. So into Ascari. Late lunch from Ollie, nice trees. I want to see something. Thank you very much. Yeah, that move isn't on. I'm sorry. And now he lets them past. And how do they make contact? Oh no! Aww. I'm sad now. That wasn't unnecessary. That was unnecessary. Man. Okay. Go back to the live feed.
I guess we're not having a boring race this one either.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
far,
gonna complain.
Yeah, definitely. So much contact between these people. I think they're so hungry to improve on what they were able to accomplish last
Oh,
race. We see
send from Santos for silver class lead, but he does manage to. Well, he doesn't manage to get the move done. Maybe
we do have
compromise.
Veldman.
Oh.
Veldman was able to outbreak Ollie Stricker, and he has taken his position as well.
Yeah, and I wonder what Ollie's car wants to say right now. It's probably screeching in pain, but you know, after what happened between Ollie and Chris, you know, it's kind of karma that he got killed on a straight, you know.
Yeah, and that was right where he got killed. Chris got killed last time, right?
I was one straight later, but it was a similar part of the track, closely after. So now I think.
We see Ollie getting a bit of a bump draft from Vidal.
There's too much going on. Silver class is absolutely not agreeing on who should lead this race. It's Kessel, then Santos, then Loos, and then Österholm, all in a group of 4 lined up. Loos goes very wide, and I think he's going to lose that position. But behind him, there's a huge battle group as well. What is that? That is so many cars. I think that's what you were watching. Yeah, there's so much going on there. I can't even point out the action. I just see that Ollie's dropping like a stone.
He is, and you know, during the Parabolica, he was just getting passed over and over and over. I think he lost 2 or 3 positions just on Parabolica by themselves. Even on the straight, they're just gaining on him so much. Something is definitely, you know, wrong with his car and possibly with his nerves right now.
Someone's slow. It's a McLaren. It's Ben Loos. What happened to him? What did he do? Did he like hit someone and felt guilty? Or I'm gonna check the replay. That's what it's for. Oh no, he spun Santos. P2 and P3 in silver class take each other out. Ah, pain.
Wow, this is definitely interesting. I mean, we're only what 10 minutes in.
What? It's been like 30. No, wait. That came out wrong. I meant it was action for 30 minutes. How is there still 2/3 of that going on? I mean, sign me up, you know?
Yeah.
That sounded whiny. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, time did fly, kind of. Came out exactly wrong. But, you know, that's fine. So, now in silver class, the updated situation after that unfortunate incident is that Gabas Kessel, with sort of a comfy lead ahead of Mikael Österholm in second in silver class, and then Ryan Noppen is currently running out the podium in his...
Veldman taking an amazing overtake on Jensen right before Parabolica on that turn. He was able to outbrake him, and he took the inside line, which catapulted him. Wow. And they have quite the gap between each other right now. They were side by side in the last turn. Yeah, definitely. That was actually really impressive.
Oh, and it's gonna get spicy once more. So that's Danny in the BMW searching for a gap, and now we see a massive send from Sam. What was that? That doesn't work, and it didn't. As Sam has to murder some poor styrofoam boards at the runoff of turn 1, and now he's gonna give the positions to Loos and Jacoli. Do you say styrofoam? Is that the word?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I don't know what the Italians call it, but you know, in the US we do call it styrofoam.
In Germany, we just say Styropor.
Germans are so eloquent with their language. You know
it's true. We unironically are, okay, but you would never understand because you don't speak German.
Don't. Yeah.
I mean, it depends how you want to pronunciate the words, you know. If you, of course, say it like I just did, then everything is gonna sound like a declaration of war. Okay, so what's going on the track? What's going on off the track? It's Jack Bedell. He's going on off the track.
What was that? It looks like he just lost it.
Yeah. Very
Coming
easy
out
to do.
of
Ascari. Did I?
Ascari. Yep.
I might have said Parabolica to that corner early on. And yeah, many capitalize on that. So Bedell hard into the wall, somehow still going, just picks himself up.
Wow. Chumlee's livery reminds me a lot of AlphaTauri. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I like it.
It does, and I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is cool though.
It is. Well, it might... Wait, it could actually be, because his teammate, Chervinsky, is not racing anymore, but has the same livery, trust me on that. And I think he was like sending screenshots of a modded AlphaTauri livery and was posting about like how great it is and how much he wants custom skins. So maybe he just did this as a little bit of a, you know, an homage to it. So
yeah.
Maybe you've got a happy Vito when he sees that you found the connection. Who knows? And now in 4P5, Oliver versus Ansel versus Stricker is going. And for P1, the gap between Brabner and Higgins is closing. That's current developments.
Yeah, Witkowski not too far behind Brabner as well. Actually, the gap between Brabner and Witkowski are pretty similar to Higgins and Brabner's gap.
Is taking off, but we've got a massive train here. I mean, we've had for quite a while. It is Romse defending the inside from Smelt, and the Lexus massive sense. Oh, Santos! What was that? That almost worked as well. He dives Cofield and gets switched back on right away. Now side by side with Visser, who's finding himself in P5 in class right now after starting last. And if you get Santos, it's P4. Now down the straight, what's going to happen here? So we've got Jensen in the Audi holding the inside. Cofield desperately trying to find some room. Jensen goes off and keeps that position.
From in the track. Yeah, I'm sure Santos is going to tell people after this race that he did that little maneuver on purpose. But to be honest, I think
no space for Cofield. He's not a magician, he can't create space. There's a reason he's called Cofield and not Copperfield. And no magic happening for him right now. Oh no! No, he did find a gap. He just created it by punting him round.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh, why Santos
what a
off
domino
as well?
effect!
What just happened? Okay, we're gonna watch the replay.
I think I think Smelt came back and hit another driver.
Oh, that must be Santos.
Like Santos, yeah.
Yeah, Santos. Oh, you unlucky bastard. That is so sad for him. And Oliver and Chris also fighting. Ansel has lost some positions as well while we weren't looking. There's too much going on, man.
Yeah. Looks like Visser, Bedell, Colley, and Chumlee are all fighting. They're all in one giant. There is a huge pack here, yeah.
Oh, Ansel.
Well,
does he find the room? We're on board with Philip Ansel, currently 7th in the Ferrari, trying to outbrake Chris Stricker. Not able to. And let's see what's going on down the order where you with your camera. There's just so much, man. We've got Chikeka is trying it on Bedell, and further up the order it's another Bentley. It is Visser trying to get past Colley. So those are
Jensen, Luce, and Chumlee right by each other, touching each other's bumpers coming into the first chicane.
Yeah,
now they're past it. Everything, no big drama there, but they are still very close together.
Chumlee has done a brilliant job of recovering for the second time today. He's getting the practice in and recovery drives.
Looking at these relatives, the intervals, it's pretty amazing that we're more than halfway through and we have 0.35 seconds, 0.66 seconds, all of that at the back of the grid. It's crazy how close these guys are still racing for positions.
Yeah, now the question is how much risk is Los going to take when he defends from this move from Chumley. Chumley puts himself to the inside in the Ascari, and you can't run side by side there. And Los does the reasonable thing and he opts out of that. He doesn't really lose a position because, you know, he's in silver class, Chumley isn't. It was very reasonable of him, but now now he's at the back foot and he's actually getting picked off by his teammate Giacolli. Or is he? This are lurking as well.
It looks like a lot of racing line changes through Parabolica. People take we're seeing today.
We could see some spicy. I think Los had a bad run, but Giacolli is tucked into the slipstream. Visser also with the overspeed might get a 3 wide moment. Visser currently not able to put himself alongside the two McLarens. The inside is Los, the outside is Giacolli. Has Visser overshot his braking? No, he hasn't. The McLarens run side by side. Oh, perfect. And that was really beautiful. Gets the move done. So Giacolli now leads Los.
It's good that.
Or does he? Yeah, he does.
Teammates were able to, you know, have a nice, safe fight. It looks like Visser is poking his nose alongside Luce, or he was trying to, at least on that last straight. So he got a good exit out of that chicane too.
Yeah, I mean, most of what he is doing is waiting for the mistakes of other drivers and then just strike. And I mean, he sees every slow exit as a mistake. And you can't make a mistake when Visser's breathing down your neck. This man knows how to overtake. He does last to first on a regular basis, and he is usually successful with it. Well, not
Brabner, 0.2 seconds behind Higgins.
Oh, good catch. We get a replay of that last race as the two of them now united at the front. Looks like Higgins has just dropped the ball a little bit, and Brabner takes to the outside to try and fight his way past Gareth Higgins, just as he did in race 1. But Higgins parks the bus phenomenally here, and this is probably just all going to allow Chris Witkowski to, to allow Chris to introduce himself to that fight up front if they manage to lose enough time in this fight.
Yeah, especially if one of them gets taken out. Yeah, incredible fighting, and we're going to be seeing this for quite some time because both of them are fantastic at attacking and defending.
Oh, Brabner. He's got his nose in and Lasmo won. Okay, I was getting too hyped there. I thought he was sending it.
Yeah, you see him tucking it because he knows he's not going to be able to complete it there. But I mean, Witkowski is getting closer and closer the more these guys defend. It's going to be a fight of 3 for the top 3 positions, all podium positions right next to each other. We only have about 9 minutes left in the race. We see Brabner coming in on the outside line.
Oh, does he make it stick through Ascari?
How? Still there.
Oh,
they're touching.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Oh, Higgins is off.
And Witkowski! It's a perfect action replay, but Higgins and Witkowski's roles are reversed. As Brabner comes together with Higgsy, and Witkowski's the one who laughs at the end. So what happened there? They just get together, and such a crucial point of the corner where, you know, just that little steering correction that Higgins had to do after the bump means he's sent off the track. Tragic for him. And I don't know what the FIA is gonna think about Brabner's move there. I don't know. I think that one was fine, unlike the one in the first race. So, right. Silver class, in the meantime, is giving us some action. Reserve driver Daniel Caulfield fighting with Ben Loos. Ben Loos being in the McLaren, and he just doesn't manage to get that BMW around the corner, right? I don't know why he went for the BMW. Maybe he should have waited like a few months because we're getting the M4 GT3 soon instead of the M6. And then I think the BMW is going to be a popular car. Right now, Danny just being a little bit of an edgelord, going against the mainstream in his black BMW. Also, Romse fighting up front with Giacolli. Oh! Racing is a contact sport if you look at those two. Oh, what was that? Loos just gets loose on, no pun intended, on the straight there as he catches some dirt, and we get a double foul moment into Rogia. Danny with a massive slipstream. Doesn't find the inside line. What is that by
someone's going
Monza?
off.
Oh man.
Oh! Oh, he is
death.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, straight into the pits. That was.
Looking at the cockpit.
Wow.
We're looking at the cockpit view of a replay of that. So we're on board with Jensen, and oh man, I think Jacoli moved a little bit over to the side, and that scared him. Those GT3 brakes are no F1 brakes. You don't catch that.
Yeah, definitely, and he did catch some dirt. I think I saw a lot of dirt kicking up, and you know, it's not as easy to brake when you're on dirt. So yeah, that definitely attributed to him slamming into the wall. That must have been an incredible crash.
Yeah. Ansel and Stricker for P6 and 7. They are going at it once more. Olive has managed to overcome both of them and is kind of pulling off into the distance in P5. Well done for him. But the two behind are getting so close under braking without actually touching there through turns 1 and 2. Hats off to them. And Ansel manages to hold that car behind him. So
yeah, it looks like Stricker did have to kind of climb onto that sausage curb a little bit, but I mean that's 100% okay, and they both came out safe and to fight another day. Talking real quick about the Higgins-Brabner incident that happened a lap or two ago. Watching it, Brabner was halfway on the track. He was alongside fully legally. I do think Higgins came over to the right a little bit too much, and I feel like that's gonna end up being on Higgins' side if it does have to choose a side. Which, I don't know, it could either be a racing incident or something that Higgins is going to have to deal with. I
mean, I haven't watched the well, I have watched the replay, but only once. I think I'm on the side of a racing incident. I don't think that's an incident where one guy is predominantly to blame. They were basically alongside, and it was just a little touch. And in the end, I think Higgins just goes off because he doesn't manage to hold the car from that touch. Unfortunate to him, at least he had that good first race, and maybe the FIA is going to give them his victory there with Brabner's incident. In the meantime, Caulfield has managed to overcome the silver class scrap and has now found himself in P13 as he's ahead of Colley, Visser, Loos and Bedell.
BMW does get a bit of a hate for being like big and chunky, but I like it.
I mean, I mean, no secret I'm a BMW fan, but this car is. See, if I thought it was a pleasure to drive it, wait, that's actually the slogan, isn't it? Yeah. If it was fun to drive it, I would do it, but it's just not. I don't like it. My orders.
I don't think I've actually ever driven it in this sim.
Yeah. So the thing is, you suddenly feel like you're sitting 2 meters above the ground because this car's really big. You basically don't see anything. It's really high, and it just doesn't like corners. But in Monza, it's fine because it's a straight line monster, and if there's a track for straight line monsters, it's this one. Even the Jag can be competitive here.
I'm impressed with Higgins after that incident, which wasn't small. That was quite a large incident. He is only 2.5 seconds behind the two. Oh, fighting for the lead. Wachowski hits a sausage curb.
Oh, Chris, that's not good. He loses the lead here, and that's probably gonna give Brabner the win. Right as I cut to him, it's
wow,
good timing there. Oh no, the poor guy.
That was crazy.
Yeah, he managed to keep it out of the wall, but he didn't manage to keep it in P2. Higgins takes that position.
Yeah, Wachowski, those sausage curbs are so risky to go over, especially at such a high speed as man, I cannot remember that last chicane. The name of the last chicane.
Ascari.
Ascari. Okay. Yeah, the Ascari chicane. It's a fairly fast chicane, especially looking at the turn 1 chicane. So going through those can really unsettle your car, especially these cars that have big diffusers on the rear, and they are very downforce heavy cars compared to like production cars and stuff like that. So those sausage curbs can be very dangerous.
Chmielewski gets the move off on Kennedy Kikeka, exactly. Kennedy Chikeka. My god. Butchering names once more. As, yeah, he takes P19 there, and up front, oh, Niels Krüger with an absolute send on Bedell. What's with Van den Hutting going?
Van den Hutting is 0.19 behind. He's looking on the outside of Witkowski, going to this final straight, coming onto the Ascari.
Yep.
It looks like possibly... Okay, he thought better of it, tucking in behind Witkowski. It looked like he was going to go side by side. But, yeah, Van den Hutting, I mean, comparing him to the last race, where he basically got sent, well, all the way back to the rear almost. This is an incredible turnout for him. P4 as of right now.
Yeah, we enter the last lap, and he's right on the back of his teammate. They are teammates, which is hard to see because they don't run the same livery. I guess there was some miscommunication about the one-off livery at Trigon Racing. They did 1-2 in Paul Ricard, now they're fighting over 3 and 4, and 1 lap to find out who's gonna come out on top. Right now Ruben is trying to find the space on the outside.
Yeah, Ruben is... Witkowski, yeah, I think he was too far away to even try, so Van den Hutting didn't push too hard, and Witkowski went over to take the better line. But, you know, we do have one more lap left to see some action, so we should probably looking more in the rear. Kessel and Osterholm very close as well, half a second. And we have a lot of people very close further back. We have Visser looking for a move on Colley on the straight, very close, taking 2 different lines. And side by side, Visser and Colley going into turn 1. Colley does take it, and Visser doesn't really fight too much for it, but I'm sure he's looking for a better exit.
Yeah, keep in mind
and
this is
get it.
This is for P5 in silver class, so it does matter, and the good run, as you say, from Visser is probably going to enable him to lunge down the inside, even though the longer way round Curva Grande might come back to bite him. Now into Rogia, he does not do it on the brakes, so it's probably going to be P5 for Visser. Where are the leaders? So Brabner's got 1 corner to go. I don't think we have any side-by-side action right now, so I feel safe putting the camera on this man, George Brabner, who finally, well, assuming a penalty for the first race, does manage to win a race in Season 7. He was already in the championship lead. He did win the championship last season, but now he's a winner in Season 7 as well. George Brabner maybe takes 2 wins, probably just takes 1 because of the incident. Then Gareth Higgins, second again. Ahead of... Oh no! Proper suicide out of that one. Witkowski comes 3rd, Ruben 4th, and then Antoine Olivier. Good recovery from him, 4th. Philip Ansel manages to salvage... No, wait, P5 because disconnector. Ansel manages P6 after getting taken out in the first one. Chris, when he doesn't have to fight his brother, has a way less entertaining race, but also a race that, you know, it's not going to be of as much interest to the stewards. So... And Kessel wins in silver class, also worth a mention, ahead of Michael Oesterhorn and Ryan Noppen, who carries it home in 3rd. And that was some really, really good races. Doubleheader at Monza. I could get used to it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, Oliver Stricker coming, it was at P18, P19.
Yeah, did not go well for him after that big shunt into the wall out of Ascari.
Oh yeah, that was really unfortunate for him. And when he took that shunt, I think he had a lot of people behind him, and you know he never really regained his either his confidence or his car was just so badly broken that he wasn't he just couldn't really fight for those positions anymore.
Yeah, and a recovery drive for him in the end. He's gonna salvage 1 point because it's half points and it's P19. But I think that just about wraps it up. Was some really good racing from the drivers. I'm gonna gonna shout them out for that, and also thanks to you. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, and hope we can do it again next week. Thanks to all the viewers. We go to Misano next week, so we stay in Italy. and we do that. It's gonna be the normal format, 60-minute race. Misano should give some good action, especially down that back straight that has like 3 bends in it, and then it's dive bomb a city down there. So yeah, tune in for that. Thanks for watching.